know if it's just me. I don't know if I'm biased to cheese. It's gross.
This smells like turkey. This smells... I don't know what it smells like.
You know what? It doesn't taste like this would be healthy for our youth.
How does this benefit your fans, Dan?
Also the Fiesta Nachos, my personal favorite.
Love.
Lunchly, Logan Paul, KSI, MrBeast, Lunchly. If you've made a video within the past week, including any of those people or that brand in the name of your video, you've basically got rent paid for the week. I'm not joking. I have never seen more commentary videos in my life talking about Logan Paul, KSI, MrBeast. I did my video on it. The case was closed. The rent was paid. But somehow, over a week later, it's just still going. So if you might remember, legendary member, Minecraft YouTuber Dan TDM, his tweet was rightfully sharing his concerns over Lunchly, which is basically this Feastables Prime Energy love child that's trying to dethrone Lunchables, much like how Prime, Logan Paul and KSI's drink, is trying to dethrone Gatorade. Dan made this tweet. I'm not going to read it out because I'm pretty sure you've heard this read out a billion trillion times. Now that tweet is on 600,000 likes, the best part of a million, which is like, that's like a tweet of someone being at the Oscars. The funny thing is about this situation, Dan, after making that tweet, he did the thing that most YouTubers do and just totally dip. You will notice this trend a lot of YouTubers using Twitter less and less. Like myself, I don't use Twitter anymore unless I've got like a banger in mind, because I think the worst thing you can do on a free-to-use app to share your opinions is sharing your opinions. So you get two kinds of YouTubers now. YouTubers that tweet 200,000 times a day with every little thought that they have for free. Or you have the YouTubers that basically never tweet unless they can get some kind of like viral meme going. That's why if you scroll through my Twitter, it's basically just haha fat joke Lamau. Also, talking about my Twitter for a brief second, you might remember that I quote tweeted Cristobal, who made the Utopia TV show soundtrack, hinting at Utopia 3. That was quickly debunked as an intro for The Substance, a new horror film that came out. And that is the first time I've been community noted in my life. But you know what? Doubters. I actually got a DM from Cristobal saying that they are looking at wrapping up Utopia with a season 3, whether that being like a TV show or some kind of like, you know, digital comic. I'm not sure yet, but doubters, just hold on a little bit, okay? But yeah, the point I was trying to make, Dan, after making that tweet, he was like, okay, I've said my piece. I'm leaving. I've got a family to be with. Meanwhile, Logan and KSI, I have genuinely never seen people be more rent-free in my entire life. The thing which is really bizarre as well is loads of people were hating on Lunchly. A lot of people had genuine criticisms. Other people were just doing it because it was the cool thing to do. Oh, look, the rich YouTuber's making even more money. That makes me angry because I realize I'm wasting my life being on Twitter. You know, I've seen KSI and Logan say many times how much of a garbage website Twitter is. And for one of the few things, I can definitely agree with them on that. But I don't understand why they've chose to like tunnel vision on Dan TDM, because so many other people had the exact same grievances. They are tunneling on this guy more than the average league player. And also on top of that as well, some other weird things have been happening. Like, for example, Logan has recently had a child, which is great. You know, he's doing better than me. That's all I can say. I'm 27 now. I can't even say early 20s anymore. It is over for me. I don't have a kid. But Logan chose to promote Lunchly hours before his wife gave birth.
And of course, we have our snacks, none other than the greatest meals in the world. Lunchly, of course, we have the turkey, cheese, and cracker stack. Also the Fiesta Nachos, my personal favorite.
Love.
And then in the Instagram post of him celebrating his child being born, which again is like one of the best things you could probably ever experience being a human on this planet. You know, it's a really wholesome moment, and then you realize you're carrying on your legacy, or, you know, all this Lunchly money, all this Prime money, this boxing money. Maybe it will have a good use, you know, for like the next generation. Because Logan Paul's kid is definitely going to be living life on easy mode solely because of the fact that, you know, her father has been grinding so much. I know Logan gets a lot of flack and stuff like that, but you do need to look at it in kind of a black and white way. Now, I am trying to defend him there, but that being said, he chose the Instagram post of his daughter being born to then start renting someone in the replies. So you had this reply of Ryan Garcia basically congratulating him, nothing snide, and then Logan replied by saying, oh yeah, by the way, I'm still going to sue you for lying about Prime. It's like, Your kid's just been born, man. Like, just get off the phone. Get off the phone for like 1 hour. I'm begging. So yeah, back on Lunchly, I'm sure you've seen every commentary Andy under the sun talk about it. It's basically competitor to Lunchables. But instead of getting a Capri Sun and a chocolate bar, you get a smaller bottle of Prime and a Feastables chocolate bar. Feastables being MrBeast's own brand of food. Now, originally, it got a lot of criticism because it wasn't really like a healthier alternative. They did say it was healthier, but if you look at the comparisons for each kind of flavor, it's like 30 calories less. Okay, great. That's like a quarter of a Baby Bell. Congratulations, guys. And the protein difference, because obviously everyone in the food industry wants to shill protein as this like the antithesis of sugar. If sugar is the worst thing in the health industry, protein is the best thing in the health industry. You can never have too much of it until you do. But yeah, the protein differences on the sides of the boxes between Lunchables and Lunchly is basically zero. You are talking about a couple of grams at best. And I feel like this is where a lot of the criticism came from, because they weren't really reinventing the wheel. You know, they tried to promote something as being a lot more healthy for kids, but it's not. It's basically just the same processed garbage. Maybe it's like 10% more healthy. And then people quickly saw that they're not trying to actually consider people's health. They're just trying to latch onto an already existing trend to make as much money as possible. Kind of like what I'm doing by making a video talking about this. And I think a lot of the statistics behind the product are very dishonest, mostly because the biggest difference between Lunchly and Lunchables isn't the food at all. The food is practically the same. It's just that Lunchly has a bottle of Prime, which obviously has mostly sweeteners in it, compared to a Capri Sun, which has a lot of sugar. So then they could dial down the calories, they could dial down the sugar, and then say it's healthier just because they replace the liquid in each meal. Now, I've had this like schizo conspiracy theory for a little while why the team up even happened. I assume this has been something that's been in the talks for quite a while, but personally, I think it's because KSI and Logan Paul's Prime sales are incredibly down from when they first started, which is normal. That does happen when you release a product built on hype. Eventually, it does die down. There's no way that a product that was selling millions of units a day or a week is going to maintain that like years later. It is completely impossible. But then, even though that is an inevitability, you still have a product that two YouTubers have stakes in and are shilling that isn't selling like it used to. And then you've got MrBeast, who is the biggest YouTuber in the entire world, who is, you know, he's going through some controversy. He's had a lot of allegations against him and his company. So it really did seem to be the best thing to team up, because MrBeast could probably use that and say, okay, I've just teamed up with the two of the biggest English-speaking YouTubers in the world, and we've now started a brand together. And then in turn, more people will be buying that product because it's packaged in with Prime and, you know, MrBeast Feastables. So then sales of Prime will skyrocket. So it's a win-win for everyone. Now, I've seen a lot of people review Lunchly before it came out, and you can really tell that I don't think these guys were paid. If you go into any TikTok comment section of someone that's trying Lunchly and they're saying it's the best thing ever, everyone is saying paid. I think they were just sent like a free package of it, you know, as like kind of a welcome gift, as many YouTubers are. You know, I remember loads of YouTubers being sent like free packages of Prime when that first came out. And then obviously, if you're sent something for free by a creator that is monolithic in size compared to you, you're probably more inclined to say good things about it, because, you know, if it comes out that you were attacking the product and you got sent it for free, what are the odds that you're going to get more products in the future? Zilch. So it's a really awkward situation where you basically have to say nice things about it, or you're probably going to be blacklisted. And that's not even a problem with like MrBeast, Logan, and KSI. That is pretty much the same for all products. You know, a lot of people think you need to be paid for a product to endorse it, but no, you could just be setting it for free, and you still have that pressure of, ooh, well, if I don't say good things, they're probably not going to speak to me again in the future, and that's a contact that I've lost. Oh, that's not good. So the fallout after this has been immense. I mean, like I said, there's been many factors. Like, for example, Lunchly isn't really changing the game. MrBeast has, you know, a lot of allegations against him right now, and instead of addressing them, he's doing this huge brand collab. And the funny thing is, the way the internet works, people forget things so quickly just because of like so many things coming out so quickly. I genuinely feel a lot of people forgot about the whole situation with MrBeast and the videos that were made on him and stuff, and they were actually reminded of that when Lunchly was announced. So out of the trio, the most vocal one has definitely been KSI, and that kind of sucks because like KSI is the one who I think is easily the least controversial. I have never met the guy in my life, I probably never will, but he has like single-handedly blown up the UK scene on YouTube. Like, I don't really follow the boxing scene or anything like that, but I can still respect what he's done for the UK scene, because we've basically always been second place compared to America. So I already mentioned this last video, but one of the first shots KSI took at Dan TDM was showing this Tube Heroes collectible that Dan was selling, like, you know, years and years ago, basically to shine some light on him and be like, oh, well, you're saying that Lunchly's crap, but look what you're selling. That's garbage. Despite the fact that people were very quick to point out that KSI also had his own tube heroes years and years ago as well. And then KSI also pointed out the fact that Dan was promoting a snack subscription box. And then people were quick to community note him by saying, well, Dan didn't make that. That was basically a paid partnership. People even brought up other things that KSI did as well. Like, for example, having his own U2s, which is something that every single YouTuber has basically done at one point. I mean, me, for example, I don't work with U2s anymore, but like I did like 2 figures with them that I was really happy with. Also, one thing that's really funny about U2s, I know they get a lot of flack online because popular thing Libad, but I noticed that there were other YouTubers that tried to do their own offshoot merch. Like, for example, there was this brand called Tube Tumblers, and there's one of MatPat. I'm not sure why you would want the face of MatPat with his beautiful brown eyes looking at you at 3 in the morning, but if you want to buy that, that's on you. So KSI molded for a bit, and if that was the end of it, all right, fair enough. I mean, he threw a little boohoo, but you know, everyone's going to forget in like 2 days. Basically, the next day, he tweeted at DanTDM saying, thanks for the free promo, pussy, even asking for his bank info as well. But yeah, thankfully, he did quickly delete that tweet afterwards. Again, I really think you guys need to understand, Dan made one tweet. I'll be honest, I don't even think it's the tweet that made KSI mold. I think it's the fact that the tweet did so well. Seriously, if you ever want to hurt a YouTuber's ego, you just get a tweet saying a bad thing about them, and then if it juices likes, it is their absolute kryptonite. And then KSI ended up releasing a video called Everybody Hates Us Right Now, where it was basically one of his normal subreddit reaction videos, but the bigger focus was on the fact that, you know, so many people on the subreddit were roasting him and saying that anyone who was defending JJ was just a certified glazer. Now, I know this is a moot point because the YouTube dislike ratio is incredibly inaccurate because, as I've said before, the way it works is you install a plugin from the Chrome store that returns the YouTube dislike. All it really does is show how many people that have the plugin installed actually click dislike. So usually the dislikes are a lot more inaccurate than how they actually are. But that being said, if you still look at his video at the time of recording this, he's got 82,000 likes and 231,000 dislikes. So I watched through the entirety of this KSI video and I did an entire React Andy on my 3rd channel, Pyrocynical TV.
We use real cheese, they use cheese product. They can't even call it cheese. Higher quality meat, etc. Obviously,
and one thing that KSI does is point out other YouTubers that have released, like, you know, food, candy, like, for example, FaZe Rug, Ryan Trahan, and says that they didn't receive any kind of backlash. Meanwhile, he is being attacked on all fronts.
Where was the same energy when Ryan Trahan released sweets? Where was the same energy when FaZe Rug released sweets? Now, I'm not throwing them under the bus.
Now, I will give him that. They're not getting any hate, but I kind of have some game theories behind that. FaZe Rug, for example, no one over the age of 7 is watching FaZe Rug videos. That is peak Goo Goo Gaga baby content. He's getting the bag, I respect it, but the age demographic there is much younger. They probably can't even form an opinion, let alone be legally allowed to make a YouTube account. And Ryan Trahan, he didn't get any backlash because I feel like he didn't partner with MrBeast. That's where a lot of this backlash is coming from. When you saw KSI, Logan Paul, and MrBeast all together, people thought, wait, doesn't that guy have allegations? Why didn't he address them yet? And the funny thing is, to make this point even more valid, Ryan Trahan actually got a lot of backlash because the first video MrBeast uploaded after all the allegations came out, that actually had a pretty lengthy cameo from Ryan Trahan. That was the one where they're surviving in like a nuclear fallout bunker underground. Ryan Trahan comes in for a little quick cameo. There's even this shot in the video where he's got his gummy sweets or whatever they're called lined up, obviously for a little bit of a promo shot. And then Ryan uploaded his POV of that MrBeast video and he was attacked for it. It's probably his most disliked video to date. It's not insane, but he still got quite a lot of backlash from it. You know, all the top comments saying stuff like, this isn't it, Ryan. Really bad timing, Ryan. So Ryan was also pulled into that kind of negative aura. But the reason why he's not being attacked as much is because he kind of just went underground and ignored it until it went away. It's funny because KSI even tried to use Marquez Brownlee as an example. If you remember Marquez, I talked about him a couple videos ago. He had this situation where he released this wallpaper app called Panels, which was insanely overpriced for what it was offering. It collected your data and all that stuff. He's obviously came out now saying that he's changing a lot of things about the app that made people unhappy, except the price, but you know, you can only get so much leverage. But then KSI quote tweeted the drama around Marquez, basically saying the exact same thing that Dan said to him. And then a couple of days ago, he posted on various platforms saying how he's doing an apology. And then when you click the link, all it does is take you to pre-save his latest song, Thick of It. Like, I get it from his perspective. He's in too deep. All he can do is bait. It probably is funny. But all he's doing right now is giving people that make community notes a reason to message Elon asking to be paid. They obviously community noted him into oblivion, saying how it was misleading. And apparently the this was a tactic used by Jake Paul a while back as well. He did this other tweet as well. This whole Dan TDM and Lunchly beef really shows that I'm in the thick of it. Out 4th of October. Pre-save link down below. So his management got the rights to a website called myapology.co.uk, and then Community Note swooped in and said it's misleading. And he quote tweeted the Community Note saying, the Community Note is a straight up lie. The apology is there. You just have to click the page a few times to get to it. Once again, people abusing Community Notes. And then they Community Noted his quote tweet of the Community Note. This is like one of those 4-layered things where you've got like XQC reacting to a clip of someone reacting to Hassan, reacting to XQC, reacting to Ludwig, reacting to Pokimane, and that person is reacting to XQC farting in a chair while at Pokimane's house. Now, I've talked enough about KSI. What's been happening with Logan Paul? Now, Logan chose to upload his own response on YouTube on one of his sub-channels. The problem is, you probably don't know that because nobody saw it. KSI's video is set on millions of views, and Logan's, at the time of recording, is barely broke a 250,000. Like, he's actually pulling in PyroLive views. You never want to do that. That means you have fell off. But this entire video is saying Twitter's a cesspit. True. Okay. Wait, am I... Are me and Logan best friends now? Wait, what? He also goes on to the concept of community notes.
I went to war with community notes the other day. X's regulatory body of truth, but they lie. The whole system is littered with lies because community notes is just, it's exactly that.
Now, I would agree, but so far, every community note I've seen on Twitter in general is either hilarious or it's defending me. So for now, I like community notes. If that changes, I will reverse my opinion, do a complete 180, and I will no longer like community notes. And then the entire video is obviously harping on saying how much better Lunchly is to Lunchables. You know, you've got the electrolytes and the electrolytes and the electrolytes and the... I'll be honest, I've seen like 7 videos in my recommended of medical professionals or at least doctors actually saying like this electrolyte thing, it's basically a scam. I mean, I've said this before. I've had a little boohoo about it. Like this, right? This is all I drink all day, every day. Is it good for you? I mean, you could do a lot worse. It's made by Nestle, which isn't good. And also it's quite acidic, but I don't really mind that much because if you see there on the label, you've got all these salts. Mineral water has salts. Salts are electrolytes. I don't understand why people think electrolytes is this amazing thing that like you can never get too much of and it always helps you. I know this sounds absolutely pathetic, but I've been drinking sparkling water so long that I genuinely cannot drink normal water anymore. Still water to me is just so boring. I cannot drink it. Now that video that Logan did, obviously it got dislike ratioed because everyone went to go and find it to attack him. But then on top of that as well, like I said at the beginning of the video, to reel you in, to bait you in, Logan decided to share on Snapchat him helping his fiance before they gave birth. That was doing really wholesome things like decorating the delivery room with string lights, much like every single vlog YouTuber did in 2016. Polaroid pictures of his fiance's pregnancy journey. And, of course, Lunchly. Like, I get it, and I did say this last video kind of in his defense, you know, he's having a kid. He might want to slow down a little bit, and the best thing you can do without taking a hit to your wallet is by generating a passive income. And if you're not going to sit on stocks all day, then you might as well get into something like food or clothing. So I do understand the grind, but at the same time, it does feel like almost dystopian how you're like shilling a product literally hours before your child is being born. You know, obviously this isn't new for Logan and a lot of YouTubers. When they have a product, they will shill it absolutely everywhere. I remember when Logan would talk in videos about how he'd go to like sports games and stuff. I forget what it was, like maybe basketball or baseball or something. And what he would do is purposely, he would pretend this is a bottle of Prime. He would stack a bottle of Prime on an already used cup, knowing that paparazzi were there to take pictures of him, so the Prime bottle was in focus. But you know what? I will give Logan a little bit of a break. I genuinely have so much respect for him that he managed to abstain from putting Lunchly in the Instagram post of his daughter being born. Because I'm not joking you, I could easily see, like in the last slide, he'd fit like, and we've got the turkey cracker stack, some nice snacks. It is a difficult situation because I know the easy route here is to blindly hate on Logan and say, oh my God, that's cringe. Like your daughter's just been born and you're like promoting Lunchly again, rent free. But at the same time, I'm trying to like picture a lot of people, including myself, in Logan's situation where you are just trying to make as much money as possible to form a future with your child. And in that sense, I do kind of respect it, because is he going to be a YouTuber forever? No, I mean, he's not even really a YouTuber anymore. I mean, I'm 27, right? I'm unk status. Logan is 29. That's super unk. So eventually at some point, he is probably going to slow down. If not his age, then probably because, you know, he's got a child to look after. So I do respect it in that regard, how it's kind of like getting the bag to secure your future kind of thing. But at the same time, would the business have completely fell apart if he didn't do that promotion hours before his child was born? Probably not. I do like how much he promotes products, though. It's just so obvious. He went to like one business class and they just said, like, you know, subliminally promote it everywhere you go. And he's just done exactly that. Like, I still remember when he was on the MrBeast challenge, where it was like, I think 50 or 100 YouTubers. And there's this one part that's just, he's like leaning up against the glass when this one YouTuber is outside and he knows that the camera's on him. And he purposely tries to show the bottle of Prime in his hand against the glass. The thing is, if I was a kid, I probably would have fell for it, right? Be like, oh, it's the bottle. But because I'm bitter and old now, I can see past it and just think, oh, wow, that's cringe. Now, I did also talk about this at the start of the video as well. Ryan Garcia made a comment, you know, just basically saying, you know, really happy for you, man. Hope it goes well. Now, if the name Ryan Garcia rings a bell, I talked about him recently with the streamer Neon, who constantly fakes his death all the time. But now he's actually in a legal battle against Logan for Prime defamation. Now, this isn't recent, by the way. This has been going on since like May of last year. So for context, Ryan in the past has made several statements about Prime, you know, ranging from saying just don't drink it, or even going as far to claim that he's thrown up 3 times after drinking it.
When was the last time you drank Prime? Is it fair to say you didn't have Prime today?
No, man.
Have you ever had Prime?
I don't want to get the runs.
Have you ever had Prime?
No, heck no. Yeah, I tried it once when they sent it to me, and then I immediately threw up 3 times. I actually heard that nurses have stories of kids having seizures after drinking Prime. And that's a known fact. There's a class action lawsuit, allegedly. And they say they're a healthy drink. That's not good, brother. I will destroy Prime, little by little. Allegedly. Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's the best word.
Yeah.
I love it.
So Garcia started this beef with Logan, just saying that Prime is bad and saying it's just as dangerous as drinking alcohol. He also claimed that Logan, KSI, and Mike Milak were working with the devil.
They're trying to spin that narrative, proves that they're working for Satan, whether they know it or not. So all 3 of them. You, Logan. You, Mike. And I don't give a what your real name is. KSI, KS Lies. You.
And in return, Prime decided to sponsor a boxer called Devin Haney. That was right before their fight. However, Garcia actually ended up winning that fight despite not being sponsored by Prime. You know, he didn't have the power of Logan Paul behind him. But then Garcia lost because they did a test after the fight and found out that he had performance-enhancing drugs in his system, and he was actually fined for his actions, and the win was taken away. So not long after that, Logan Paul was that rent-free. He put out a lawsuit saying that Garcia was a flat earther and tested positive for PEDs.
Elaborate. What do you think the shape of the earth is, Ryan Garcia?
All right, let's go with this. I think it's flat, but it has a dome over it.
Now, Garcia has actually since apologized to Logan and the Prime team, but the lawsuit seems to still be going. Now, all of that context in the bag, when Logan shared the birth of his daughter, Garcia made an Instagram comment. And then Logan, as soon as he saw that, saw absolute red and responded to him by saying, Prime still suing you for lying, but thanks. In return, Ryan said, I could care less about your lawsuit. I'm giving congrats to the birth of your child. So is this a snide from Ryan Garcia? Is he like, you know, does he secretly hate Logan and he's just trying to like, you know, get on his nerves? Probably. But at the same time, it's like, I feel when your child's been born, you kind of should just take 10 minutes away from the internet, you know, just delete the comment or something. And then if he goes on Twitter crying saying you deleted it, it's like, okay, Ryan, who cares? Like his kid's been born. I think he's allowed to do that. Now, finally, to close the video, MrBeast, has he said anything at all about this situation? For the most part, no. He's been very clever about this. Obviously, KSI and Logan have the ability to go off on these weird tangents and crying, and then everyone forgets in a week. But MrBeast, like I said, has allegations against him, so he knows to not be as vocal as the other 2. So the only public reply he did was like kind of a stealth reply to a drama alert tweet, basically saying that, yeah, if you ate chicken and broccoli, that would be infinitely better. But loads of people eat Lunchables anyway, so why not have our alternative, which is a little bit healthier? Now, I'm not joking you when I say that reply read to me, like MrBeast and his team read over that, like they probably sat on that for like 5 hours just thinking of the best way to construct a response, and that really is the best way to construct the response. The problem is that's not what people care about. So if you go to the replies below his tweet that was perfectly made, every single reply is, why haven't you responded? Why haven't you responded to the allegations? The only other thing I could really find is in the latest MrBeast video, he did obviously do a dedicated shill for Lunchly as well.
And while they're strategizing, I want to tell you about our brand new product, Lunchly, which pairs Feastables and Prime together in a better-for-you version of Lunchables. Lunchly comes in 3 flavors, Fiesta Nachos, Turkey Stack'ems, and the pizza. And inside each box is a miniature Prime and a miniature Feastables. Let's go see what the twins think of them. How's it going?
Ooh.
We got pizza, turkey, nachos, whichever one you want.
I'll get the pizza. The nachos look so good.
And that is real cheese.
Ooh, these are fire.
Yummy, delicious, better than Lunchables.
Now, is Dan TDM the reason for the downfall of Lunchly? I mean, firstly, Lunchly isn't on a downward spiral at all. It will probably sell millions and millions of units because, again, most people that are vocal on Twitter, they're teenagers, people in their early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s. The people that are buying Lunchly will be the parents buying it for the 7-year-olds, the people that don't actually voice their opinions online because they're too busy playing Roblox. So I really don't think sales are going to be affected here, and I don't really think that Dan is the reason why Lunchly got so much backlash. I think it would have anyway. I think what happened is there was a lot of people separated online that had problems with Lunchly, and then everyone chose to kind of like funnel behind Dan. It's like, oh, I can make my tweet crying about it, that'll get 2 likes, but then if I retweet Dan's tweet or like his tweet, that supercharges it, so then they have to see it. It's just that tale as old as time of everyone rallying behind one person to get like an opinion out there. But yeah, I can't really see making another video on this situation with Lunchly or anything like that. Honestly, there'll probably just be a couple unfunny diss tracks, and that'll be the end of it.